Hey, 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 welcome in. Hey, I am Dr. Kiki Ramsey, and welcome to the Dr. Kiki Ramsey Show, the place to be right now if you want to create and do what you love and love what you do. I'm excited to be with y'all. Today, we are still celebrating Women's History Month, right? And I get excited to be able to still be celebrating Women's History Month because I'm a woman and I love empowering women and giving us tools and tips to be able to take our life and career to the next level. And so, y'all know we're going to be getting into it. Today, we're going to be talking about 5 traits of fearless women who lead. So, let me just say this: leadership is something that we all do. Even if you're not considered a manager or a leader at your place of employment, you're still a leader. You manage your household, you lead your spouses, you lead your children. You are still considered a leader. So I'm excited for you to be here with me today as we talk about women who lead and the fearlessness that we all should have. And so if you are here with me, let me know where you are tuning in from in the chat. I love to give you a shout out, and I am going to bring us in properly. I'm by myself doing this, and so I'm trying to make it work. Hey, welcome back. Okay, so we are going to be jumping into it. I think the name is Saad. I think that's how you pronounce it. Thank you so much for joining me on the Dr. Kiki Ramsey Show today. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And if you just joined, let me know where you're tuning in from. Hello, Iris Span. Thank you so much for joining me, tuning in from Washington, D.C. I'm excited to see you. So, 5 traits of fearless women who lead. I'm so excited to get into this because it's really one of my favorite topics when we talk about traits and characteristics and stuff. And so I really, really love talking about, and giving tools and tips and just digging into how we become more amazing as we already are, right? So these 5 traits are going to really hopefully bless us. So I really want to first talk about and get a real working definition of what traits are, because a lot of people say, well, how can you say that you can learn a trait? So a trait is a distinguishing quality or a character of a person, right? It is a distinguishing quality or a characteristic of a person's character, right? Like it can be of a person's genes, right? It can be from your genes, right? You know, that saying, I woke up like this. Absolutely. A lot of you woke up like that, and it's on the wrong side of the bed. But we are talking about character traits. And I love character so much. In my company, the Positive Psychology Coaching and Diversity Institute, aka PCADI, we always talk about character because we truly believe that character is that thing that will put you at the top. You know, skills may help you get to the top, but it's your character that's going to help you stay there or going to help you fall. I mean, it's just the way that it is, right? So I believe that what we have in our country today, as it pertains to diversity, equity, and inclusion and leadership in our organizations, is a character problem. It's a character problem, which is one of the reasons why we love the VIA Character Strengths Assessment. It is a free tool. It's an assessment if you want to go take that, and you can actually assess your character. But a character strength is a trait that is described in someone, and it's a part of your personality. And sometimes it takes a long time to change your personality, but we do know that you can change. Personalities can change. You can harness these traits in your life and use them for the greater good of your career and in your family life. And so I use my character traits all the time. And I know my top 5 very, very well because they have served me well and they continue to serve me. So I suggest that you go take that assessment if you don't know your character traits. But we're going to talk about a couple, 5 to be exact, today that I think are really, really, really important. But before we dive into the 5 that I think are important, let's first of all talk about fearlessness and fear all together, right? So fear, evidence, false evidence appearing real, right? That's one of the definitions that you would hear often. Or forget everything and run, right? That's another one that I hear often. But one that I love that I've always utilized in my teachings in terms of fear, and that's the one that I want us to kind of practice today, is face everything and rise. Woo! Let me say that again. Y'all like that, don't you? Like that? Give me some hearts. Give me some hearts. Face everything and rise. That's another definition of fear. Because here's the thing, fear holds us back. It really does. But let me tell you the truth about fear. Fear has a job to do. Fear has a job to do. Fear's job is to keep you safe. Fear doesn't know that it's holding you back from your destiny, from your dreams, from your goals. It doesn't know that. You don't walk up one day and fear is like, hey, girl, hey, no, you're not going to do that. And then what do you say? What do you say to that? You need to tell fear, you know what? I know you don't want me to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. And that's the face everything and rise part, because we all are going to have fear. So what are some common types of fears that you might face? Well, there are lots and lots of fears out there that we face. And in my book, Get Courageous Now, A Woman's Guide to Finding Her Passions and Purpose in Life, you can get it on Amazon. I talk about 8 main fears that we face. But I have a couple more that I think should even be included in that. And one is one that I know women especially deal with, is the fear of not being enough. I mean, we can wake up and just feel like we're not enough. We can go into a meeting and we can think that we are not enough. We can have people, look at us wrong, and we feel like we're not enough. And that is a main fear for a lot of people in this world. And I say to that, you are enough. Just the fact that you were born makes you enough and makes you worthy. But it takes for us to get that into our spirit, to get that deep into our soul, to understand that the mere fact that you were born and there is only one you out of all of the billions of people on this planet, there's only one you. Yes, you are worthy. All right. And the other one is the fear that you won't be loved. We are human beings. We were meant for love. I don't know what you told yourself, but if you are breathing, which if you're listening to me right now, that means that you were meant to be loved. And a lot of times we fear that we're not going to have the love that we want. I grew up with this often, right? When I struggled with my mom, I struggled with the fact that I didn't feel as loved as I could have, right? But I knew that she loved me, but at the end of the day, I still struggled. And I ended up looking for love in all the wrong places because I struggled with the fact that I didn't feel as loved as I needed to be felt loved, right? And another one is, a lot of us actually have this, is fear of success or either fear of failure, right? We fear that we're going to fail, but it's not a failure if you learn from it. It's only a failure if you take that experience and then you bury your head in the sand. That's when it becomes a failure. But if you say, wow, that was a very difficult situation for me, but I learned so much from it, then I don't consider that a failure at all. Some of us fear success. You fear that if you step outside of your comfort zone and you get ultra successful, then people might judge you, or you might lose friends that you have. All of these things, right? So you have to understand that these fears are there to keep you safe. Of course, you don't want to lose friends, but that's where your mind go to. You don't want to fail, but that's where your mind goes to. But once you understand that fears are going to be there and you have to face them and move forward anyway, then life gets a lot simpler. I was just talking to a client the other day, and she was, nervous about some of the things that she was going through in her career and some of the projects that were coming up, because they were really big deal projects, which is awesome and amazing, right? So I wanted to help reframe that for her, right? I wanted to help reframe it. I helped her say, okay, these projects that you have, hey, Gail, thank you for joining me. The projects that you have are there because you deserve to be on them, right? This is a beautiful opportunity for you to actually show what you got, for you to show what it's worth, right? You show all of the value, all of the knowledge that you've gained in order to do this. So reframe it from necessarily only being scared to maybe being excited that you get this beautiful opportunity to show what you are made of, to show that you're made of. And then I also told her, I said, here's another reframe. If you understand that it's going to be difficult, then you can just move forward just knowing, right? And hear me out. Here's the thing. A lot of times we get so scared about something because we psych ourselves out because it's going to be hard. If you already know it's going to be hard, ain't no reason to psych yourself out. It's going to be hard, but you are harder and you can do it. You are even more resilient and you can do it. So that's the reframe. So when it comes to our fears, we got to reframe them from only thinking about the negative to then think about what you can gain if you move forward in spite of your fear. And that's positive psychology all day long. And I do it all day. I take a deep breath because I'm often nervous about certain things, and I keep it moving. I keep it moving, even though I'm scared. And half the time you wouldn't know I'm scared. Some of you might have saw me last night breaking a board. If you haven't seen it, the video is here on whatever social media channel that you're tuning in on. I broke a board in the Unleash the Power Within seminar by Tony Robbins. And I was like, oh my God, like, oh my goodness, I'm so nervous. I'm so scared. But I said I was breaking through fears and things that might hold me back. And I broke through that board. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's pretty awesome. I was super proud of myself. But we have to take our fears like that. We just have to break through them, right? Because they're going to be there. But these fearless women who lead have certain traits about them that allows them to continue to be fearless and lead their households and lead their jobs and all of that. So let's get into them. Number one, right? And these are characteristic traits, right? These are character traits that we're talking about. Thank you for watching it, Gail. Hiya. So number one, they are honest. I can't tell you how important honesty is, especially in today's workplace and in our homes. It is very humbling and sobering when you have to be honest and admit you're wrong to a 4-year-old. Okay? Because my daughter, y'all might hear the thunder, my daughter will say, silly mommy, that's not right. And I'm like, you're right. That wasn't right, right? And I have to be honest with her. Or if I hurt her feelings or hurt my son's feelings, Trey, I'll say, you know what? Mommy didn't mean to do that, right? I have to be honest. And at work, showing up authentically, right? You might have to show up and have an honest conversation with somebody about a really difficult topic, as often we do, right? As often we do. And sometimes it takes a real honesty to have conversations that might cause hurt and pain, but we have to do it. And fearless women who lead understand that honesty in these situations are absolutely key. I know that I've had to be honest in my role as a CEO with other people who work for me, who coach for me. And I try my best to come at it from a place of love, because honesty doesn't have to be mean, right? I think a lot of times we think, oh my God, I got to be honest. Or, you don't have to be mean about it though. You can still be honest and it still have a kind heart about it. Okay. So number one is honesty. Number two is resilient. Mm-mm-mm. Women who lead, fearless women who lead, are super resilient. I talk about resilience a lot. It is one of my favorite topics to talk about because I truly believe that I've been resilient throughout my entire life. Is because I've had to be. I've had to be resilient. And chances are you've had to be resilient as well. We've all had to be resilient over these last 2 years. Every last one of us has had to have some kind of resilience to be able to get through what we call a pandemic. Y'all, we endured a whole pandemic. Okay. I hadn't even heard of a pandemic before the pandemic. I was today years old 2 years ago when I heard of a pandemic, right? I mean, I watched all the movies and everything like that. And if you go back and watch those movies, it is definitely eerie, scary, right? When you watch these movies about like contagion and stuff like that. Ooh, child. Mm. But I had watched those in the past, and I'm like, wow, we're actually living in these times. And yet, we all are still resilient. You still have jobs. You learn how to switch from going into the office every single day to opening up your computer in your office or at your dining room table or in your bedroom or in your closet, wherever your new office is, to and getting more work done than you did when you were in the office, and having 25,000 times more meetings. Right? Than you actually had in the office. You're resilient. You're absolutely resilient. And you need to be in order to continue to lead fearlessly. I know that, building a virtual company during the pandemic takes resilience, right? And that's what I did. And I know that you've done some things. So one of the things I want you to do is I want you to think about these traits and see how they apply to your own life. How have you been resilient even during these last couple of years? And how do you plan to continue to be resilient as you continue moving forward? Number three, they are forgiving. Fearless women who lead are forgiving, absolutely forgiving, right? I've had to forgive a lot of people along my journey, especially along even my journey of leadership. There are things that have happened that I'm like, wow, you wouldn't even believe, things that I haven't even told stories about. But at the end of the day, I know that forgiveness is absolutely for me. And I love the fact that I am resilient and I am forgiving, right? So I'm going to try to get through these because it is thundering and I don't want us to go out because this is a live broadcast, y'all. We coming to you live, right? And so forgiveness is, number three. Kindness is number four. And courageous is number five. Kindness. Let me just say this. I honestly think that kindness is a lost art. And I say art because there are so many people, if you look on social media and even the news, even what's going on in our country right now or around the world with the wars and everything, kindness is lost. Where is that at? Right? I actually sometimes it's so saddening, but I get so excited when I encounter somebody in an organization or in a business that I patronize who's kind. I get so excited. Why is that such a rarity? It shouldn't be, because fearless women who lead are actually kind. We are kind. I know that I try to tell somebody in my life how much they mean to me every single day, whether it's my babies, my husband, my friends, my colleagues, all of that. I'm trying to be kind because I know that kindness can go a a a long way, a long way. And courageous. I wrote a book on courage. Okay, Get Courageous Now: A Woman's Guide to Finding Her Passions and Purpose in Life. As a fearless woman who leads, you are absolutely hands down courageous. You are willing to take risks that others might not be taking in their lives, because you know that on the other side of fear is something amazing. On the other side of the challenge and the trial that you are experiencing is something super phenomenal. It is a phenomenal life, but you have to be willing to step outside of your comfort zone, that little box that we actually put ourselves in. You have to be willing to step outside of that box and move forward in your life in order to get to the other side. And so I know that if you're watching me, all these 5 traits, if you possess these, you are unstoppable, girl. I know you are. And I'm so excited to just be a part of your world, however you're watching this. And so I'm just going to go down all 5 real quick, and we're going to be out because it is really thundering over here and I don't want our broadcast to be interrupted. So you need to be honest, resilient, forgiving, kind, and courageous. These are the 5 traits of fearless women who lead. And I am so excited to have been with you today. If you feel like this message resonates with you or somebody else, go ahead and share it. Please share it. Like me on YouTube, subscribe, LinkedIn, Facebook, all of that. I love you all. And until next time, I will see you later. Take care.